he's got his little agenda. You know, he has his mate Shalom on, doesn't ask him about a failed drug test on one of his shows.
Pro boxing fans here in Sheffield, fight week, Wood versus Warrington. First of all, Frank Smith, how are you? How's life?
Good, mate. I'm good. Good to be back here in Sheffield. I went missing for a week and now I'm back, mate.
You're back, and obviously, look, we're going to address what we've got to address right now. In regards to the whole builders comment, you've apologised to many outlets, so I'm sure that you're going to apologise, but I'm going to show you a clip because I was driving in, and as I do, I listen to Talksport. And yes, Simon Jordan had something very interesting to say to you, so if you do just listen to that.
The point is, Frank, you buffoon, nobody wants the builders to see the report. They wanted UKAD to see it. They wanted British Boxing Board of Control. So what Frank Smith does, and people like him do, is they ignore the real point and they go, well, Simon Jordan just flapping his gums for clickbait.
What do you make of Simon's comments?
I don't know. Simon Jordan doesn't. By the way, I said it in an interview earlier. I didn't say that people shouldn't. I said the specialists within the field, right, who have to decide his fate, right, should decide on it. So that's all I've said. And I said it in an interview earlier. They have to decide it, and it's not for me, who doesn't understand it, not for you. And I shouldn't have said builders, but I meant nothing by it. It's for the people who are specialists within the field who understand it, decide his fate. That's all I mean, right? And I said the wrong things at 1:30 in the morning. I watched back and thought, actually, it doesn't make any sense. Take out what I said. Actually, I was watching back thinking, you look like you can barely speak, to be honest. So but Simon Jordan, he's got his little agenda. You know, he has his mate Shalom on, doesn't ask him about a failed drug test on one of his shows, doesn't talk on what the Spencer Oliver show about. You know, look, and this isn't me saying the Channel 4 documentary, because I haven't watched it. You're on a show talking about boxing, talk about topical subjects, so that's quite a big thing in British boxing. I'm not saying what was on it was true or not, or false or right or wrong, but surely talk about that. But instead you're talking about me and saying I'm a nincompoop T-boy. So, like, this guy, he's got his agenda, let him get on with it. He's a complete tosspot, and that's it. Like, he's talking about me on Talksport Radio. Great, thank you very much. Like, it is what it is. And on the other subject, people say I was talking about working class. It wasn't about working class. I've worked my way from 14 years old. I'm not some rich kid. I've worked really hard, and you know me. A lot of people know me. I'm a very respectful person. As to whether you've got 0 pence, £1 billion, as to whether you've got a great job in some people's eyes, not a great. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not about class, nothing like that. But that was people building a narrative that I created something about working class when I didn't even say anything about work. If I stood there and went, you know what, all the working class, like, I'd understand. But I should have said, probably said accountants, and I wouldn't have got in any trouble. But again, Simon Jordan is a complete and utter moron. I don't know what to say. He's got his agenda. He has to keep pushing through with it. Good luck to him. People listen to him on the radio. And, you know, if that's what he has to do to make a living now, because he couldn't do very well in business, fair play.
Listen, I watched that interview and I know what you meant. So I get it. Obviously, like you said, it might have not been construed the best to your ability, but it was 1:30 in the morning. Let's carry on. Let's talk about boxing. Wood Warrington. I do want to talk about this fight. A lot of people are saying, look, Josh, he's a bit past his best. We've seen a couple of performances now where that tenacity that we saw from Josh when he was at his peak is no longer there. Therefore, he doesn't really deserve this opportunity. Carl Froch is saying, listen, just because of his name, the Warrington name, or what he's done in boxing at these weights, that he deserves opportunity. Do you agree with Carl Froch in that sense?
Yeah, look, I believe he deserves the opportunity. You know, he came back. Obviously, the second Lara fight didn't end the way anyone wanted it. The Josh Warrington fight against Lara. He came back from there. He won the world title against Kiko Martinez in a great fight. He had a tough fight against Lopez in a mandatory position. We've seen Lopez go on to do some great things. And look, I think that this sport is not just it's about commercial profile as well at the same time. And these two guys deliver a huge event. This is a massive fight on Saturday night, and these are the kind of fights that are great for British boxing. And these are the kind of fights we need more of. and I believe he deserves it. He's done a lot in the sport, and I think it's Josh probably could have had one more fight in between this, but he didn't want a warm-up fight. He didn't want to keep busy fight. He wanted a big fight. In the stage of his career he's at now, he wanted a fight he could get up for. And one thing I'll say is on Saturday night you're going to see a tremendous fight in there between those two guys.
Final question, because I think they're going to start the press conference. I was watching a podcast from True Geordie the other day, and some of that sort of came to say, he said that, I wanted to ask you about, he said Tyson Fury hasn't been a good champion. He's not defended against the best and deliberately chosen the easiest opponents and had no intention to make the Usyk fight unless it was big money, and it was big money. Do you agree with that sentiment in regards to Tyson not possibly being the best champion from what True Geordie's saying?
I think, look, he's been beneficial for the sport, Tyson Fury. He's done brilliant. I think rather than... My biggest thing with Tyson Fury is AJ gets compared obviously to Tyson Fury and resumes, etc., and all this argument. I think Tyson Fury's been great for the sport. I think Anthony Joshua has been great for the sport. I think there's a lot of question marks now around the whole Ngannou thing, but at the end of the day, we're in a dangerous sport where people should deserve to go and make as much money as possible. And if that means taking the Ngannou fight, fair play to him. Can understand people's opinions. At the end of the day, that's what's great. But everyone's got an opinion on each of these people, and rather than think so much of the time is comparing one to the other, rather than just saying, has he had a good career? Yes, Tyson Fury's had an amazing career. I mean, True Geordie gets people talking now.
Cool. They are going to start the press conference. Frank Smith, always a pleasure to talk to yourself, and no doubt I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.